Hi and welcome to a new video here on my channel. This today might be a little bit something like an update from the office. It's a long update because it's the first video here on this channel. But I want to show you a little bit what I've been working on during this last year. So it will be some kind of a recap of 2023. I just want to show you some of my favorite images which I've taken and talk about some projects I've done. So let's dive straight into it. So maybe before I head to January, one or two important things for you to know. So in 2023, I finished my internship, which I've been doing for 3 years in a photo store. So this was maybe for me personally, the biggest milestone which I've achieved. And this was in last August. And since then, I am a 100% wildlife photographer and filmmaker. So this is basically the biggest step I've done. But also I've been on some incredible trips. I went twice to Africa, which was kind of a very spontaneous thing just because some incredible chances opened and I was able to join 2 photographers. But later on more about this. So let's just start with January. And in January 2023, I had some incredible friends here in Switzerland. Sadly, what you have to know, from January until August, I didn't really have a lot of time. So you won't see a lot because I was in my final exams of the internship and preparing a lot of other projects like these trips and also some other things. So I had very limited time to really be out in nature. But still, this one trip in January, it was fantastic. You can even watch a video from Tobias Gjerde. I'm sure you know him. If you are interested in nature photography and you are in YouTube, you have to know him. I will link the video from the trip, his video, down in the description. So yeah, here's a very nice group picture. Together with Mateusz Pieszak from Poland, with Marek Siegler from Switzerland, and then with Tobias. So the 4 of us spent a lot of time in the mountains. We had awesome conditions with a lot of snow, and we got some nice birds like this. Let me think. I think it's snow sparrow in English. No, it's white-winged snowfinch, I guess. Yeah, another one like when he's taking off. And so our main target on this day was the birded vulture, and we got him very nice flying by. And a other really nice bird we found on this trip is the wall creeper. So we got some nice sights. He was quite far away, but still nice to see this wonderful bird. So this is actually all of the images I've taken into this presentation from this trip. We took many more, so if you want to see them, really check out Toby's videos. They are very, very good. So now we straight move on to March. So no really photography in February. I mean, I did a lot of photography every month, maybe just in front of my house, but it's not really worth mention these trips because I didn't really get any nice results. But in March, I went to a forest for some days. It was alone. I was just there to relax a little bit because it was a very intense time with the exams. So I went there for, I think, 4 days, and I found some chamois in the forest, what was very nice. But the absolute highlight there was a capercaillie, one of my favorite birds, and I was able to get some very nice sights, even get some close-ups, and so that was definitely one of the nicest encounters in 2023. Okay, so then let's move on. It's already April on my presentation here, so I'm sorry for this very fast beginning, but we are already in April. But then we still got some snow in April, and this was a nice chance to get the black crows on the lacking area with snow. So we took the chance together with 2 friends. I visited the lacking area for 2 or 3 days, I guess, and we got some nice results there. Yeah, and then otherwise, when I had the time to be outside uh, in this time of the year, it was usually for the film project. So we had a target species, like for example the ptarmigan, and we went to try to find it, and we got some nice footage. Of course, I can't show you everything here, but just one or two images. We got a nice frame with the Alpen ibex together with the ptarmigan, what was very nice. Otherwise, also this time of May and June was very intense because of the exams, and at the same time, the two trips to Africa, yeah, somehow happened. I would say we straight move on to July, and this for me personally big day in my life because it was when I finished my internship. Okay, so we move on. And I just have a yeah funny behind the scenes of me and Ananda preparing all the equipment for South Africa, and it was incredible, an incredible amount of equipment. So actually, it was too much. When we arrived in Africa, we were like, why did we bring so many things? Because it made everything so complicated for traveling. So I don't lose a lot of words about this trip right now because there will be an upcoming series about this trip with maybe 7 to 8 videos. It's almost finished, but I think I will be able to upload the trailer from this series as the next video. So I'm very excited to share this. That's also why I'm not gonna say too much, but still a few images from the trip. So yeah, I went there together with Ananda, who is a fantastic guy and guide because he has the safari license, guide license. So we spent 3 weeks, more than 3 weeks, mainly just the two of us. Very easy traveling just with a tent whenever possible, cooking by ourselves, and just yeah getting the African vibes. What was incredible to be so close to this wildlife. I mean, you see a lot of images from Africa and almost too many, so it gets kind of boring to look at all these images. But if you are there for the first time, it's just it's another world, and it's hard to describe. Already the sound you have in the air all the time, then just the chance to visit huge predators like lions behind every tree, it makes it so exciting to be there. So yeah, we had a very nice time. So one or two images here. First one, which I really like, from an elephant, which was taken from the air. How I took it, you will see it in the series, but it's one of my favorite images. And then another one, which is kind of funny, is this group of lions. So we kind of found this group of lions, and then by the time more and more zebras and giraffes come over and looked at the lions, and it was just a funny image. I mean, it's technical or not very creative, but it's harsh light and everything. But I kind of liked the moment. And then another lion image, which I like. It was taken in the very first light of the day in Okavango Delta. So after South Africa, we moved over to Botswana. But more about this in the series. So just to make you a little bit excited about it. Okay, so let's move on to August. I came back, yeah, I think in the beginning, middle August. And then I had a few trips in the Swiss Alps, what was fantastic because in summer it's just beautiful to spend time in the mountains. It's warm, you have these beautiful Milky Ways, especially during August and then September. So yeah, my main target during these trips were the Alpine Ibex, and I also got some close encounters, as you can see here, and also a few kind of nice images which I got, like this one, for example, with a small silhouette on the left side and then this big cliff to the right. And I just love, because it shows very nice how this environment is with these big mountains. So another one which was on my bucket list to get, and I got it last summer, and I was very happy about this, is two fighting ibex. It was not really a wide angle, but still, I think it was with the 70 to 200 millimeters, so I was quite close. Yeah, and I like how you can see the environment in the background as well on this one. Okay, so last ibex image from this summer. It's in the very last light of the day. You can see the moon rising, like small moon rising in the backgrounds, and just this beautiful soft yellow lights which you have after the sunset. So yeah, that's just beautiful to spend nights in the mountains and yeah, witness the sunset with the ibex. That's just, yeah, there's no better feeling, and I can't wait for this summer because it's just more relaxing to be out in summer, especially when you sleep outside. Okay, so now we're heading over to September, and we're going back to Africa. I mean, it's crazy, and I did never expect to do something like this, like flying twice to Africa in a year. I mean, I also won't do it for a long time or forever, but sometimes if you get the chance, you have to take it. So the first time when I went with Ananda, it was just, I mean, very low budget, the whole trip, and that's why I was able to afford it. And this second time in September, I was together with an American friend who invited me to join him to Kenya. So best regards to him. I'm sure he's watching it, and he's a great supporter. So we went there to Masai Mara. I'm sure you know this place. And our main goal was the Great Migration. And this was a big dream coming true for me, because this is, yeah, exactly the scenario you always see in BBC documentaries. And so I couldn't wait to see this with my own eyes. Also here, I filmed a lot of footage, so I'm sure I will do a series one day. But yeah, it's a lot of time, so maybe it's gonna be in the next year. Yeah, so I just don't want to promise anything, but I'm sure I will do it at some point. So, but also here I want to show you a few images, just a few I've already edited, because I took a few 10,000 images up to 100K. So yeah, I'm not through all of them so far. Still a lot of work ahead, but I have already a few which I can show. So this first one, I really like this image because, I mean, it doesn't work for Instagram or something. Also because it's a very wide frame. But I think here on YouTube you can see it, especially if you're watching it on a bigger screen. You can see these lions in front, and then you have all these wildebeest, and I think also some zebras in the background. So this is one of the biggest, most incredible events in nature, and it was just beautiful to drive through this landscape and see these endless amounts of wildebeest. So I took this image during a morning with a nice sunrise, so you can see some colors in the background. Okay, so next image, it's taken at Lake Bogoria. It's also in Kenya, and it is famous for a big colony of greater and also lesser flamingos. So we spent 2 days at this lake, and yeah, I mean, it was a little bit difficult to get very good images, because you arrive there and it's just overwhelming what is going on, because you have hundreds of thousands of flamingos. So I mean, I tried my best, and especially on the second day I went for a lot of long shutter speed, and this is one of the results I got. I have to go through all of the others. This is just one I picked out of because I just saw it. Okay, so a next long shutter speed image. I will try to show you the settings here so you know what kind of a shutter speed I've used. I don't really remember it right now, but it is one of these situations where you have a lot of zebras in front of the river, in front of the Mara, and they want to cross. So it's a very chaotic situation. You have all these animals coming to the river, and some of them are running back because they think they saw a crocodile or something. So it's very chaotic. And I kind of, after some attempts with short shutter speed, I felt like, I mean, a long shutter speed could show quite good how chaotic it is. And also here, I'm not sure, there might be some better images somewhere on my SSDs, but this is one of them which I just found when going through this, and I kind of like it. So also here, I mean, I showed you now 3 or 4 images. I mean, I've taken a lot, so there will be a lot more contents, especially when I might come up with a series from this trip. Okay, so after this trip in Kenya, which was 17 days, I guess, we flew back to Switzerland, and we had a rental car, and then we went to the next destination, which was Abruzzo in Italy, a beautiful place next to Rome. There are a lot of mountains and hills, and their main goal there was to look for the red deer rat, but also for wolves. So I can show you an image how it looks there. Yeah, it's how you imagine how it is in Italy. It was just, yeah, beautiful to be in this area for the first time. I've heard a lot about it, and I was very surprised how easy it is to photograph red deer there, because I'm used to the Swiss red deer and they are very skittish. You have to work with camouflage and wait for days to get a decent image. And it was completely different there, but it was nice because we got some fantastic photo opportunities in just 4 days, I guess. And yeah, here is one in the morning light with the breeze. And yeah, my personal highlight and the reason why I was looking forward to visit this area were the wolves. So there's a high population of wolves in the area, and we had a fantastic guide for 2 mornings, I think, and he knew in which areas they are active. So on the 3rd day, we got lucky and found a whole pack of wolves. I'm not really sure how many there were. I guess around 7 maybe. I'm not really sure anymore, but it was everything in a very far distance, so there are no better images than this one. But still, it was the first time I saw wolves during the daylight, and this was, yeah, a dream coming true. So also this trip was totally worth it. And so then we're heading over to October. So you can now see since I finished my internship, which was in beginning of July, I did a lot more of photography. So yeah, I guess that's actually what happens when you're a full-time wildlife photographer, but it's much more fun for me to go through this month because there's a lot more to show. So in October, I had another great friend visiting me in Switzerland, and he is Carmel Bechler. He is the last year's wildlife photographer of the young wildlife photographer of the year. So if you don't know him, definitely check out his work. His Instagram is linked below in the description. So we spent, I think, 8 days in the mountains looking for alpine wildlife, and the first subject we found was the alpine ibex. So also here I tried to get some more creative attempts with this alpine, I don't know how to spell it, alpine quote. Yeah, forgive me this, I have no chance to spell it, but I'll write the name here. Okay, so we're heading over to a next image, once again with a long shutter speed. a portrait of an alpine ibex. Yeah, I think it's kind of an interesting one. And so this was at the first location we've been. We also had a very nice observation of a mountain hare. I got some first images of this species, what was very nice. And then we moved on to a next place, which was higher up in the mountains. We had a lot of snow up there, so too much snow, I guess, because it was hard to really hike around. And we did some hikes, but it was very exhausting, so we didn't really came too far. But we stayed in a very nice mountain cabin in this beautiful snowy landscape. We didn't find any wildlife there, at least no living wildlife. But what was interesting up there, we found a gold crest, which was dead. I guess it happened during migration. So it's impressive that these, very small birds, which weight, I'm not really sure. I guess it's something like 6, 7, 8 grams or something. So very, very light birds, which fly above 3,000 meters altitude. Okay, so then we moved on to a last location with Carmel, and we once again got kind of lucky. We hoped for the alpine ibex in snow in this area, and we found them in the snow, and I was very happy with two of the images I got, because they're more small in frame images showing a little bit of the environment, especially one I got with the river in the background. I think that's one of my favorite images from this trip. But we didn't really get close to any of them. So, but still, it was a very nice 8-day trip in the mountains. Okay, so we're already moving to December. So this was just 3 months ago on a trip together with two good friends, Mark Siegele and Nicole Watkins. Also check them out. And we looked for chamois in winter, in snow. And also here we got very lucky. So it might look a little bit like we get lucky with every attempt, but it's really not like this. All the trips where we didn't find anything, I just don't mention them. So we're just heading from highlight to highlight. So this was a very productive day and just fantastic to find the chamois in this very fresh snow. So of course I got some portraits. I got one image which I really like with this mother and the young one together with this tree. And then also one I really like is this wide angle. I think it's taken with the 24 to 70 millimeter, and it just shows a lot of this environment. And I really like the trees and how there's still a lot of snow and ice on these trees. Also in December, a very nice encounter with the same capercaillie, which I already encountered in spring, but this time with fresh snow. And so this was, dream coming true, having this beautiful bird in this environment, in these surroundings. And these are two images I got on this day. I have a lot more. I have also some more, even more wide angle images. I will share them at some point. Maybe I will keep them back for the film project, but you will see them one day. But it was a very nice day. Okay, so we are moving on to another highlight, which was also in December. So as you can see, December was a very, very good and productive month where I found a lot of things. So starting this trip with this nice landscape image, and then we're going to the tracks of the wanted subject. So this is the track of the ptarmigan, and you can already see here how nice the structures are on the snow. So this was on this particular day. I think it was because there was a lot of wind the day before, and we found a whole group of ptarmigan, and yeah, I'll just show you the series which I've taken on this one single day.